Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back into my channel. It is earlier tonight. It's Sunday night, only 6:55 p.m., so not my usual between the 10 to 11 o'clock hours at night. But anyway, very good week for the Astros, and I have a special guest. Keegan Lessard is here with me. Say hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, so he's going to break down some games here with me. The Astros had a very good week. They went 4-1. They played 5 games, so they won both in Colorado against the Rockies. And then they took 2 or 3 from the Angels after losing the opener. They came back and won yesterday and today. So very good week for the team. We both went to the game. Thriller today. Went 10 innings, right? Yeah. Extra innings. We won 11 to 10. We were down 7-2 and 8-4. Overcame both those deficits, and yeah, we won 11 to 10. So today's game was one I'll probably never forget as a fan actually being there. So, but anyway, so on Tuesday after the off day Monday, they beat the Rockies 9-8. You remember that game?
Yeah, good game.
So we were down actually. We had an early 5-2 lead. Jose Urquidy, is that how you say that name?
No clue. I
So
think that you say like an accent, like Urquidy.
okay, well, yeah, he started and didn't do too well. Pitching in Colorado is a tough venue to play or pitch, especially if you're looking to protect an ERA. I feel like a lot of Rockies starters actually have quite a few wins, but their ERAs are up over 4 or 5. Yeah, you could double check that, but that's how it's like. That's how it's like for a lot of Colorado pitchers. I felt like I kept hearing that over and over and over again for a lot of the games. So you're going to give up a lot of runs, but you can also get wins because you expect your offense with how big the ballpark is, playing in the high elevation, and there's a lot of ground to cover in the outfield. So that's usually a place.
ERA for the Rockies is John Gray, 3.92.
So yeah, John Gray, who supposedly is supposed to be their ace, his ERA, which is best on the Rockies, is 3.92. Thanks for. Yeah, you said that first name. Herman Marquez, I think, is second.
German.
Yeah, Herman Marquez, and his ERA is at 4.45. So yeah, the lowest ERA though at 3.92. That's really not that good, but it does result in wins because he's got 9 wins. A lot of their starters have wins. The Rockies are not a bad team, so winning both was big. But coming back, they had a lot of doubles. I don't have my iPad up right this second here. So, by the way, this podcast tonight's actually live from outside. I'm actually on the curb on the other side of the street. My usual studio in my bedroom's not big enough, so yeah.
One thing I do want to say about Urquidy is I like his stuff. He's got good stuff.
Urquidy?
Yeah, Urquidy's got good stuff. I just think that the command of the zone might not quite be there yet.
Well, I'm ready to send him back to AAA. He's had 2 starts. Both of them were pretty bad. But between him and Valdez, who would you go with?
Valdez has got the experience.
Yeah, but Valdez, his last 2 starts against the Yankees and the Pirates, his last 2 outings, he gave up 6 runs in each. Each game he gave up 6 runs in about 3-4 innings. So,
I mean, the Yankees are playing in the small ballpark, and that's one of the best offenses in baseball.
what about the Pirates?
I don't have an excuse for the Pirates.
All right, well, we'll see how sort of the rotation wraps up. I mean, we have the All-Star break here. Astros are actually back in action on Thursday, so most teams get until Friday. The Astros don't have that extra off day. But I'm going to focus on what happened. So they win 9-8. You double-check that score on Tuesday? It was 9-8, I believe. And then Wednesday's game, I believe they win that 5-2. I have to double-check. On Tuesday, was it 9-8?
Tuesday won 9-8. Wednesday 4-2. Friday took a 4-5 loss. Saturday 4-0.
All right, we're just focusing on Colorado for now. But yeah, 9-8, and you said 5-2?
4-2.
4-2. So they won both those games, which was actually a pretty big deal. I was really expecting a split. So Who started after Urquidy? It was Wade Miley, yeah. Miley actually, who got off to a very shaky start on Wednesday's game, really settled down. So he had a couple bumps in the road with a few starts where he was very subpar, but his last two he's actually, bounced back. So he's been a very consistent pitcher.
Keeps his team in the ball game.
Keeps his team in the ball game. And with the offense that we have, only getting better.
If you could allow 3 runs or less in an outing, you're giving a team, especially with the lineup like the Astros have, you're giving that team a good chance every single outing.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, but anyway, so yeah, you win 9-8, 4-2. 4-2 game was kind of weird, especially in Colorado. The 9-8 was a typical game at Coors Field. Then you had the off day again Thursday, so 2 off days, and then Friday was kind of a disappointing game. Who started on Friday? Do you remember? Was it Verlander?
The loss was Verlander.
Yeah, Verlander took his 4th loss.
How many solo shots did you give up?
Well,
I gave up 1 to Ohtani.
yeah, one was to Ohtani. There was a few others. Maybe you can look. Yeah, you can look at the box there. But we were playing from behind early. We did score a few runs to cut it a little bit, but then I know Mike Trout hit a home run off Rondon, and if you know me, you know how I feel about Rondon, but I just sort of have to live with that. Yuli did hit a home run down the right field line to actually cut it to a 1-run game.
Calhoun had a 2-run bomb. Ohtani had a solo shot, and Simmons had a solo shot.
So yeah, the home runs off Verlander, which is.
And then Trout had the solo shot.
So Calhoun and Ohtani both took Verlander deep, and you expect about 2 to 3 home runs if Verlander's in the game. I think he's allowed 30 home runs this year now, if I read that stat correctly. And
Simmons also hit home run off Verlander.
So Simmons as well got to so he gave up 3 home runs. That's been what Verlander's just been of late. ERA is all the way up to 2.98. You can double check that, but I'm sure that's correct.
One of the first pitchers in history to have 20 home runs given up before the All-Star break, and also have an ERA below 3.
Yeah, I mean, he gives up a lot of solo shots.
He doesn't get in a lot of jams.
I think it was 30 home runs he actually gave up.
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, before the All-Star break, yeah. So that's been Verlander's big deal. If he just could keep the ball in the yard, he'd be definitely starting this All-Star game. He might still actually start. We'll have to wait and see, but that's kind of what it's been like for him. Garrett Cole came out on Saturday. He was tremendous. In fact, he dropped his ERA all the way to 3.09. You can double-check that. That could be wrong.
Also, see his last pitch, the 110th pitch of the game, 101 miles an hour.
Yeah, so he cranks it up. He knows when he's got 2 strikes, he's at the end of the line. He'll crank it up and, get some outs, get some strikeouts. He struck out 9. He walked 2, got through 7 innings. He threw 109, 110 pitches. So yeah, they stretched him out, and the offense did enough. I know Reddick had an RBI single. I believe Bregman had an RBI double. Yuli, of course, hit his home run. By the way, Yuli's got 6 home runs in 5 games.
Something like that, yeah. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he's got 6 and 5. So Yuli's really hot right now. He had a home run. Alvarez, I believe, also had an RBI double. So those were the runs. Won that 4-0. So after losing on Friday 5-4, I believe was the score there.
Now, going back to the Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, you mentioned to me a couple days ago that you thought Justin Verlander finishes with a higher ERA than Garrett Cole.
Yes, I believe.
You stand by that?
Yes. They're trending in opposite directions. Verlander was 2.50, or he was right around the mid-2s, and he's almost up to 3. And Cole, who was actually had an ERA over 4, is all the way down to almost under 2. So they are trending in different directions. I do believe Garrett Cole in a contract year, he's pumped up. I know he had a few bumps in the road early in the year, but he's gotten things figured out, and I definitely expect him. In fact, coming out of the All-Star break, we just heard this on the radio. I think Cole's going to get their first start on Friday. So, I mean, would you agree that you think that Cole's going to probably finish better than Verlander?
Definitely in terms of strikeouts.
Yeah, no question there.
He's already he's the AL strikeout leader.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think anybody's close to him. I know Scherzer's got quite a bit in the NL.
The NL.
Yeah.
But so where do you think both of these guys finish in the final Cy Young voting?
Well, a lot of season left. That is a good question. I would probably Got some people walking by here, so if you hear some background noise, that's
It's not the fan this time.
it's not the fan this time. But anyway,
Just a couple of fans.
I mean, being a homer, I'd probably say both actually end in the top 5. If Verlander can fix the home run issue, his ERA will continue to go down. He'll continue to get wins.
But do you think those are 2 top 3 potential guys of the signing the bet?
I would find that hard to believe. There's not a lot of people who in the AL is. I mean, you got like people like Mike Minor, Charlie Morton's up there.
Yeah, but do you think would you take Mike Minor if you had a vote, put the bias aside? Would you put in your vote right now before Verlander and Cole for Mike Minor?
No. Mike Minor's been in the league for over a decade. It seems like he played a lot with the Braves. You remember that? But he's been sort of a journeyman. He's bounced around, I feel like, a few times. This isn't just he's all of a sudden great. He's just, I think, the Rangers as a team, I think, are going to start to fall here.
Absolutely. I mean, the Rangers were a team with a bunch of. I'm gonna hate on the Rangers because I don't like the Rangers, but that's a team with a bunch of nobodies, overachieving. You look at their young core. You can't see me, but I did say young core in air quotes. But you look at that young core is made up of guys like Rougned Odor, who's hitting. What's his last line right now? Something absolutely atrocious.
I don't know. He's a streaky hitter. I'll say that.
Streaky. Even his like good days, he's on the good side of that streakiness. He's batting .230.
Yeah, I mean, Odor had that one good year. It was like 2015, where he hit like 30-something home runs, and he was a big part of their playoff run. And if you actually go back before Odor came up, Jurickson Profar was supposed to be their everyday second baseman, but he was dealing with injury. He just continued to deal with injuries. They finally moved on. He plays with Oakland now. But yeah, Odor. They still got Elvis Andrus.
All you need right there.
I don't.
All-star.
Hunter Pence, who like resurrected his career in Texas, is now an all-star. I think he's starting actually too.
He was one of the starters. He had hamstring back.
That's right. Yeah,
Something.
He was dealing with some injury, but.
Speaking of hamstrings, I'm just going to talk about what is going on right now. If you look at all these Astros players going to the DL or IL, I'm sorry, because I've been told DL is offensive.
It is.
Altuve with that grade 1 hamstring strain, Springer with the grade 2. Aledmus Diaz went out with was it a strain or hamstring discomfort? Because we haven't seen him in upwards of a month.
Yeah, I mean, well, he actually suffered a setback because he was running bases at Minute Maid Park sort of during his rehab, and he felt some tightness, so he got shut back down for a while.
And then Michael Brantley, even though he played today, had a couple of knocks. He was day-to-day with a little hamstring soreness. So.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hamstrings this year. I know Stassi, when he went on the DL, it was like a knee or something like that.
Yeah, but didn't he have something like a ball fouled off his knee? I feel like that's kind of different.
I don't know, but even let's not forget Alvarez is also out a few games after he fouled a ball off his knee as well.
Yeah, but these are kind of like contact injuries. This is really hard to avoid. Speaking of contact stuff, I want to get into this.
No, not yet. No. We'll talk about today's game in just a minute. I want to get. Well, I guess we've pretty much covered 2 against the Rockies, winning Saturday. Today's game. I mean, we could actually spend 20 minutes breaking down today's game, but we were.
So we're going to get into the All-Star break prediction and that kind of good stuff as well.
No, I usually try to keep it Astros oriented. We do have 6 people.
We have 6 people. We got a guy in the home run derby. I think that's grounds.
Yeah. So yeah. But to talk about today's game, so we actually got on the board first. Tony Kemp hit a 2-run home run.
And I would also, Iraquieri, he had, I mentioned, I talked about his stuff earlier. He looked really good, really strong through the first 2 innings. I don't know how much longer his stint in the show is going to last before he gets optioned again. But he shows good stuff. Nice break to the breaking ball. So I think that that might be a project worth keeping an eye on in the future.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. But things really blew up in him on the 3rd, and he gave it 5-6 runs.
Yeah, that's been an issue for some of our back of the rotation guys recently. I mean, you look back at Framber, and
Valdez.
in New York, he looked like he was going 3 shutout and then imploded with the
Yeah.
6-run fourth.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of today. I don't know. Long season. These long innings and a long season will get you.
Really, starters 4 and 5 after Verlander, Cole, and Miley. It's like musical chairs with the way we've been. I mean, Peacock's been there most of the year, although he just went on the DL.
Dealing with what is it, a shoulder?
Yeah, he's got some discomfort. I think he'll actually make it back by the time the All-Star break's over if all goes as planned,
All I know is
along with Correa and Diaz. So we should be
discomfort
fully
is
healthy.
becoming one of my least favorite words.
Well, that was the word last year. Last year was the whole discomfort with everything.
That's
so
that's like the life story of Carlos Correa. It's just discomfort.
we
Whether
broke the
he's
rib
back-
or cracked the rib,
Well,
fractured
if
rib.
You ask his, I don't know, fiance, wife, whatever. they are,
Daniela, what's her name? Daniela.
Yeah, Daniela. She says she could heard the snap of the rib from downstairs. And can I just say that is absolutely ridiculous? I don't think you're gonna hear a snap like that from downstairs when there's like walls and ceilings and
Yeah,
whatnot.
it's hard to argue that. I would agree with you there. By the way, Daniela's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, so
Um,
maybe she sees this. And, she doesn't know who I am or care who I am, but I think she's kind of a fibber, if you will.
All right, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to focus on my YouTube channel here because I need to figure out a way to get subscribers.
Well, I'm
and
trying to keep you some views, get subscribers. It's fun.
yeah, but it also stirs up controversy. Anyway,
Well, that's why you bring in
real things back in.
celebrity
We need to reel things back in here for a second. So after being down, Fromber gave up a few runs. Devo, Kristovinsky came in after him. Actually, I want to stop for a second. Devo was actually one of the guys I did not grade on my report card back on Monday. I was giving people grades based on their first half performances, and Devo, I apologize, was a guy I forgot to mention. He's not a guy that's going to see a lot of high leverage. He's not a setup guy. Harris is better. Presley, of course, as soon as they're better, he's not going to get a lot of. He's more there to eat up innings, I feel like, and they've sort of lived with that. I'd probably give him a C-. He can get it through some innings, and when it looks like he's sort of starting to turn a corner, I feel like then he gives up to he can never actually put together a full 3-4 outings of not giving up runs. I feel like he gave up a run today.
Well, maybe he's just suffering from discomfort. I don't know. But you still see the good depth in the changeup.
But
Whether or not he leaves it up.
He can't. Yes, that's the issue. He can't get that circle of death is what they used to call it. Like he can't keep it down. He's got a mid-90s fastball that helps, but the changeup is his pitch, and he can't locate it. And if he leaves it up in the zone, it's begging to be hit a long way. So.
Well, I like Kristovinsky. I think the first couple of seasons. What is he now in his third full season?
Devo?
Devo, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was here 2016, I think maybe. 2015,
right.
2016.
He's got that kind of funky motion where his front side flies open early. That's just kind of a funky thing for hitters.
Falls off towards the
he
first
falls
base
off
side.
towards the first base side. That may have helped him out early in his career, but the more video you get out on you, the more hitters can study that delivery, the release. I think the easier that ball gets to pick up.
Yeah, but anyway, so he gave up a run. C, what did I say, C-?
Yes,
C- just to finish up the one player I left out last week. But anyway, he gave a run. McHugh came in. McHugh gave up a run as well, I think. Maybe he didn't, but he actually gave us.
Solo shot to Trout.
Did he?
Yeah, that was the first batter he faced was a solo shot to Trout.
And Trout actually had 2 solo shots today. One was to right field, and one was sort of center field, just to the right of the batter's eye, and the Budweiser Brewhouse. That was a bomb.
He also
Yeah, I'll get to that.
struck out by Iraquid.
Yeah, Urquidy struck him out, and it looked like this was going to be his day, and then things like happened and all the things that happened in the third kind of messed up his entire start. But McHugh actually won a few innings. We were still losing big time. I mean, the 2 runs by Kemp was all we had for the first 5 or so innings. We finally scored a few runs. There was somebody hit a single up the middle that scored a run. I know Tyler White had that single down the third off the bag. Who hit before Tyler White? Was it Yuli maybe?
Or was it Jordan?
It's either Yuli or Jordan I think it was Jordan. Yeah, Jordan had a single up the middle to score a run to get us our third. Tyler White hit a single down the line that hit the third base bag. to score a fourth. But then the A's added another run. So it was 7-4 at that point. After it was 7-2, the Angels added a run to make it 8-4. I know that Will Harris came in. This was
Did he give up
this.
a bomb today?
So can you check up your box real quick? Because I know it was Urquidy, then it was Davinsky, then was it McHugh after that? Somebody else gave up a run before Will Harris came in.
Yeah, it was McHugh gave up the solo shot. And that was the one run we gave up before the Harris gave up the other solo shot to Trout, right?
Yeah, yes, the one that went to the Budweiser Brewhouse.
Yeah. Where did McHugh?
So McHugh went a few innings. So
Where did he go? Like an inning and 2/3?
I don't know, but he actually was brought back out and he actually got through it. So he did a good job, McHugh, even though he did give up a run. But it was 8-4, and then Gurriel once again hits a grand slam. We also, even after that, Alvarez had a double with nobody out. Still nobody out in the inning, and they couldn't get the run home. So that was a little disappointing. But to get out of the inning tied with a big swing by Gurriel was huge. And then to cough, Will Harris, a guy I've been very big on all year, to give up the 2-run shot to Trout to make it 10-8 hurt a little bit. And then once again, that wasn't going to keep us down.
Now,
How did they score their 9th and 10th runs, the Astros?
was it a Yuli base hit up the no because who had the hit or was it Jordan because
I think it was Jordan, actually. I think it was Jordan because
Yuli scored.
Tyler White had a big hit that inning.
Or was it Tyler White that the knock?
Well, Tyler White didn't bring him in, but he had a knock to get things going. There was a pass ball that advanced runners to second and third, and then Alvarez had the single to tie it. But I'm trying to remember who had the first base hit before Tyler White. Might have been Yuli, yeah. That sounds about right. But that tied it at 10. We had a big opportunity. In the 9th, this is the play that will be talked about probably for a while by a lot of Astros fans, but we had the bases loaded, 1 out. By the way, Jake Marisnik had come in to pinch run for Alvarez. And was it Josh Reddick who hit the fly ball?
It was George Springer.
Was it George Springer?
Yeah.
So Springer hit a fly ball, bases loaded, 1 out, to medium deep right field. And it was about medium depth. Cole Calhoun caught it out there and right?
Yeah, he's camped under it.
So he was camped under it. Yeah, he's got a good arm. Anyway, but it was deep enough to most likely score the run. So here comes Marisnik charging down the line, going as fast as he can. Lou Croy, the catcher, is setting up to grab the ball. McHugh completely clotheslined Lou Croy. I mean, he was running full speed, and Marisnik scored the run. He was certainly concerned about Lou Croy because Lou Croy just looked completely out of it, like he had a concussion. He was bleeding.
Lights were on, nobody were home.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was Marisnik was very concerned after scoring the run, of course. We're looking at the replay right now, but Marisnik sort of dipped.
I mean, I think if you look at it, you might see he was going into a head-first slide. It was all kind of funky because in no way does this look on purpose.
Actually, it kind of does.
I don't think it does.
Marisnik's not that player. He's just not that type of player, yeah.
But because you look, he takes that move up to try to get in front of the tag, and as he's moving to the inside of the home plate, the inside of the baseline, Lou Croy kind of shifts his weight also in that same direction to field the throw, and that's just kind of immediate impact.
Anyway, so Lou Croy was definitely hurt. There was like 5 guys out there. He was almost going to be stretchered off, but he was able to get on the cart to actually take him out. But then they reviewed the play, and they called Marisnik out, which I had never even heard of this rule or actually seen anything like it. Usually the rules at home plate is you have to give the base runner a lane. That's the big rule that's been at home plate. But the rule I heard on the way home was you cannot.
I've got to stop that. It looks like there's a lane.
Yeah, so I mean, with the thing with Marisnik is they went to replay, they called him out, and they said that he was called out because he diverted his path to home plate to make impact with the catcher. Now, initially, we were thinking Marisnik was trying to avoid. He could have either gone inside or outside. He went inside, which is exactly where Lou Croy was getting to receive the ball from Calhoun in the outfield. But they called Marisnik out for diverting the path to home plate to run into the catcher, basically, is what is what they called him out for, and we were all up in arms after the call. The Astros won, so it didn't hurt us, but that was a lot of controversy.
The thing I like to point up is you see him move into the inside of the baseline. This throw from anywhere on the field, infield, outfield, has been coming from that inside. So either way, it feels like you're moving indirectly into the tag more so if you're taking the backside of the baseline. Because then at least the catcher say, because if you saw the replay, at no point did Jonathan Lucroy have control of this ball at any point. Before the contact even is initiated, you'll see the ball is in and out of Lucroy's glove.
Yeah, and Lucroy made a bad decision. I mean, you can't blame him for this, but the mask wasn't even on. He took the mask off to receive the throw.
There's a lot of coaches like their guys to have the mask off. Feel like it's easier to see the ball. Same reason you'll see the catchers on the pop-up rip those masks off. They can see the ball, track the ball better. But me, just in my experience as a catcher, I prefer to keep the mask on just for safety reasons. But it's judgment deal.
Yeah, so I mean that made the collision even worse because Springer really ran right into his head anyway.
It looked like his shoulder went straight into his nose. If you saw it, his nose did not look the way a nose normally looks on a face.
Yeah, it's probably concussion slash. I mean, there was blood. You can tell when a player's a concussion just by looking at the look on their face. So he's got a broken nose. He's bleeding, and probably a concussion. So I don't know the full update, but he's definitely going to be hurt, and probably he'll go in the IL, and it might be a lengthy stent, I should say.
Going back, you look at this replay the entire time. Marisnik was taking the inside route the entire way.
It looked like he diverted a little bit.
Because look, what's he supposed? So I think you saw that little put the shoulder down. I think that was a lot of him bracing for impact, because right as he moves out, that's when it's not just like he puts his shoulder down. He turns it almost to his back towards Lucroy.
But Lucroy is blindsided because he's not looking at Marisnik. He's trying to catch a ball coming in, so he didn't see it coming. So it's one of those blindside. Started calling Marisnik a linebacker on Twitter, things like that. But yeah, so
Talk about
Keegan's showing me some replays of a funny play in Saturday's game.
We look. I'm just to play so that way, y'all can understand what's going on. If y'all are watching the game on Saturday, Garrett Cole's pitching, fly ball in foul territory. Altuve's camped under it. He catches the ball, and I've got no clue what Tyler White is doing. Kind of looks like he's about to get a nice firm hold of Altuve's waist. It looks like the Titanic when Jack is holding what's his name, Rose. And then you see Garrett Cole walking off the field. He's like, oh my God. I think Garrett Cole is just as tired as Tyler White, or Big Puddin', if you will, as the rest of Houston. So if y'all are counting down the days until DFA, it may be coming.
Yeah, it's been on a timeline. I've talked about this previously. That was just a side note on Saturday's game. That was kind of a funny Twitter gif that was put on there. We both saw it. But we did win. So Springer hit a walk-off. Was it a double?
Yeah.
So I think Reddick. So they were back-to-back doubles. It was Reddick and Springer. Springer had the one to win the game. So exhilarating finish. Happy they ended up going 4-1. They're back to 24 games over 500 at 57-23. Their high watermark all year. They were 48-23 at one point, which was, 25, 26, 25 games over. The whole winning twice as many as you've lost, I've brought up numerous times. I just want to try to get wins, and the goal is to win 100 again. So, but that kind of wraps up the week. We'll go into Home Run Derby. Bregman will be back in that, facing Jock Peterson.
And what do you think the odds are he beats Jock Peterson?
I think the odds are pretty good. The only thing that scares me a little is Bregman's home runs aren't, if Jock Peterson can get a hold of a few and actually hit, the rule is if you can hit 2 home runs over 440 feet, you get 30 seconds of bonus time. That's actually what caused Bregman to lose to Schwarber last year. As Keegan waves to a car driving by. But
well, here's the thing about Bregman. That's what not just Houston, but everybody who loves Bregman all around baseball. Dude's a gamer. He shows up. He competes. He's never going to be the favorite to win a home run derby, especially when you got guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Josh Bell, Christian Yelich already has 31 at the All-Star break.
Yelich actually dropped out.
He dropped out.
Matt Chapman of the A's is taking a spot.
No. Okay. But either way, he won't be your favorite, but he'll go out and he'll compete. If you were to ask Alex Bregman, I 100% believe that he thinks that he will win it all.
Yeah. So you're saying he believes he can win it all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bregman's got that swag. Okay, he's good. He knows he's good. He's probably the biggest talker on the Astros, but he backs it up. So and sometimes that what's the word I'm looking for? No, well it makes you better. So what's the word? It
makes you rise to the occasion. I don't know what you're thinking.
It motivates you. It motivates you. So I think that kind of works in Bregman's favor. So you got that. You got the All-Star game. Brantley, Bregman, and Springer are starting that game.
We've got
6 Astros. So the other 3 will be Verlander, Cole, and Presley.
So that's a pretty good percentage of the entire AL team, right? You'd say.
Yeah.
So what are the odds that one of our 6 guys is an All-Star MVP?
Like last year, Bregman won the MVP.
Well, because we had Bregman and Springer came in late innings, extra innings last year. Both of them hit bombs last year.
Back-to-back home runs. That's right. Yeah.
Do you think we have any sort of Astro that comes in and so we've got 3 position players and 3 pitchers, correct?
Yeah. Right.
Garrett Cole, Presley, Verlander.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a pitcher All-Star game MVP? It's not common.
Yeah,
so
that
they get
doesn't.
Maybe an inning of work.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
So what would you say it would take for a pitcher to go out like an immaculate inning? Maybe
something like that. Jacob deGrom was
In an
close to
All-Star
that
game?
a few years ago. Jacob deGrom of the Mets came in and was just striking people out. Didn't throw a ball. It seemed like. But even that, you're only throwing 9 pitches. So
9 pitches.
usually it's given to a position player.
Right,
Basically had the
but
biggest hit.
You have to look at it, even though it's 9 pitches. There's 9 pitches against the best players the other league has to offer.
Yeah. It just doesn't usually happen. So it'll probably be a position player. I don't really care. I used to care about the All-Star game. The last few years, it just really hasn't interested me that much. I mean, I'll watch it.
The significance behind it is gone. It used
Yeah.
to determine who gets home field advantage. I think I'm okay with that being taken away because I believe the team who does have the better record should get that World Series home field advantage. Just makes sense. You look at the team as a whole's level of quality of play, and that should determine your home field advantage.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if that's the reason why I've lost interest, because really the interest was lost for me right when they took that sort of, winner of this All-Star game, whether it's NL or AL, will receive home field advantage in the World Series, whoever represents their respective leagues. But I don't know what it is. I mean, I'll watch it because it's the All-Star game, and this is probably like the biggest. Think about the basketball All-Star game. Stupid, I think.
Oh yeah, no.
Even the football, the Pro Bowl is
The
not
Pro Bowl
even.
is the worst. The Pro Bowl is the absolute worst. But now that you're on level of interest, is your level of interest affected by how they, like a couple seasons ago, they changed up the home run derby format?
They changed that. I was actually losing interest in that myself. They changed it up to try to keep fans interested, but I don't know. The home run derby, it used to be a fun thing. I feel like all these All-Star games for all these leagues, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, all gone downhill. Baseball is really the only sport that's trying to change things up to keep interest. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts there?
I mean, you look at all these sports, and people are trying to avoid injury. Basketball, nobody's trying to play defense. Football, nobody's going 100% because, man, you don't be that guy that puts a hit on a guy and tears his ACL or whatever.
Let's also not forget that's in between the so after the NFC and AFC championship games, that's in between that. So no teams that will be playing the Super Bowl are actually part of the Pro Bowl, which is kind of disappointing because they probably have quite a few Pro Bowl players.
Well, I'm saying a lot of times you got an MVP on the Super Bowl teams, like Matt Ryan, Tom Brady's. You're thinking recent MVPs playing on Super Bowl teams. It just kind of stinks that you don't have those players in your own All-Star game. But just going back to the comment I made about trying to avoid these injuries and whatnot, baseball is the one sport where you can go 100% and really not risk the injury. You got the pitchers like you remember back when Justin Verlander was with the Tigers? He had his one inning of work and he was pumping like 101, 102. Wasn't finding the zone very well, but it's fun to see. Fans want to come out and see the complete display of one's ability.
Yeah, so I agree, and I'll watch it because it'll be something on TV. It's the All-Star game. I want to see how the Astros fare.
Only baseball really this week.
But yeah. So I actually kind of like playing on Thursday. Astros have had quite a few off days, but we're going kind of long here. It's over 35 minutes, so I'll sort of wrap things up. Thank you, Keegan, for joining me. Hopefully we can do it again. Please subscribe to the podcast. I'd love to hear your comments. Both me and Keegan are much appreciated if you leave some comments, and we'll definitely address them throughout the week. Please like this, share it with your friends, do all that good stuff. And I will talk to you next Sunday night, where we will only have 4 games to recap, as the Astros will be in Arlington to face the Rangers for 4 games. I do not know the 4th starter in that game. I do know it will be Cole, Wade Miley, and Justin Verlander Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we will do a trade deadline show at some point, but that's not – we got another month, basically, for that. The Astros will be looking for most likely a starter, a starting pitcher, 2 or 3 type of guy, and they could even use a bullpen pitcher, relief guy. So we'll wait and see. No real trades have been made. Can you think of any?
Around the league?
Yeah, this year.
Well, Jay Bruce to the Phillies.
Jay Bruce and also Edwin Encarnacion to the Yankees. So those.
Impacts already in their respective teams. I think a Bumgarner deal could be made sooner rather than later, since he's a rental. So that way you make that deal. That way you can at least get more starts, a month's worth more starts out of your guy for a rental. So I could see that happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the 2 big names starting pitcher-wise is Max Scherzer and Madison Bumgarner. And Stroman, Matthew Boyd's another guy. I'm actually okay with going with the Stroman or Matthew Boyd. I'm not willing to break the bank when it comes to our prospects to get a Bumgarner Scherzer. I don't even.
Well, Stroman is Alex Bregman, but on a mound.
Yeah. So I mean, they'd probably get along pretty well. So anyway, but we're going late. I'll get into more trade deadline stuff later during this month. And again, I'll talk to you next Sunday, and hopefully Keegan will be able to join me throughout more podcasts throughout the year. But again, everything I just talked about, the subscription, please, and the comments, and like it, share it with your friends. I'd like to hear your thoughts. But we'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you next Thursday, or I should say Sunday, next Sunday night, and we'll see you then.
All right, peace out.
Say it again real quick.
Peace out, homies.